Hello and welcome to Tarot with Honey. I'm so excited for you beautiful people to be joining me today for a spirit-led, spirit-filled reading. And if you have not liked or subscribed to the channel, or maybe I should say this, if you have not liked the video, go ahead, like it. If you have not subscribed to the channel, definitely go ahead and subscribe now. That lets me know that you guys are enjoying the content that I'm creating and that you want to see more. So I would love to have you as a part of the Tarot with Honey family, because you guys are becoming a family to me. I think I mentioned in one of the videos that I did, I have a deck review playlist. So if you guys have not checked that out, definitely check that out. And there I have a list of some of the decks, a good portion of the decks that I use. So you can find those if you want. But I also mentioned in those videos that this is something that Spirit told me to do. Me coming on YouTube and doing these readings is something that has been on my in my spirit for a very long time, and I'm talking about probably in the years. And so now I'm doing it, and I'm doing it because of God's beautiful people. So if you are liking these videos, if you're vibing with them, listen, it's free to subscribe. Go ahead and subscribe. And that is definitely an encouragement that you are connecting with the readings and that you want to see more. So I would love to have you as a part of the Tarot with Honey family. And let's start off and get this reading going. So I'm excited about the reading. Let's see what Spirit has to share today with the beautiful people. Spirit, what do you have to share with your people? Speak, speak. It's a song. It's an old song. I can't remember who sings it, but it's "Speak to me, Lord. Speak a word of life that I might hear." Let me get another one. It felt like another one was trying to come out. So numero uno. Numero dos. Whoa. Whoa. Oh, 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 oh. So this is going to be a money reading. Money, money, money. And these all three came out before I can even read what they were. So let's go ahead and talk about this right now. This deck is one of my favorite decks because um, just the robust amount of energy in the decks, it is just so powerful. So I'm actually going to touch on the severe vow of poverty first because if I remember, that was the first one that came out. And then we're going to do the second one and then the third one. All right. So I'm going to read this to you. I'm going to put it a little bit closer so you guys can read it if you want. This here is a little thing to help me when I'm with the deck. So, don't mind that. All right. So severe vows of poverty. Dear one, there is no need to suffer or sacrifice. Hold the intention of undoing any vows of poverty or self-denial that you may have had, consciously or consciously, in any lifetime. As you do so, all effects of these vows will be undone for everyone involved in all directions of time. Wow. Let me just make sure I'm recording because this is wow. This is so powerful. I don't know if I could get so deep into it within the next 15-20 minutes, but if you know, you know. If you know, you know. This is not our first lifetime for many of us. And what that means is that there's a huge possibility that you have been here in a past lifetime. And what happens is within that past lifetime, we make certain vows that we may not remember in our current or present lifetime. And so people often wonder, why am I having issues of relationships or family or health or financial or whatever? Some of those are decisions that you're making, but some of those are also a spiritual attachment, a spiritual bonding to past lives. Some of that can also be um, energy that other people are trying to put on you as well, that you have to release. But neither here nor there. The issue at hand that we're talking about here is releasing any vows of poverty that you have um, committed yourself to in past lives that you may not be aware of. So that is an exercise that I encourage everyone who's listening to do, is to hold the intention, as I'm reading here, of undoing any vows of poverty or self-denial that you may have had, consciously or unconsciously, in any lifetime. So you're covering all the bases, not just this lifetime, but lifetimes before. As you do so, all effects of these vows will be undone, broken, loose. The chains are loose. Okay? They will be undone and not redone for everyone involved in all directions of time. Okay? So there we have that. And then release resentments about money. So that could also have to do with a poverty mindset as well. A lot of times people have um, ideas about money that hinder new money, more money from coming into their lives. Ideas like, oh, if I have, extra money or a lot of money, whatever, my family might think I'm, you know, arrogant or bougie or stuck in my head, or my family and friends might think that I think I'm better than them. Whatever the case may be, you may think that by having money creates a mark on you, meaning that you will become a target for robbery or whatever kind of negative associations you have with money. Those associations unconsciously repel money from coming to you. So we really have to be as careful as we can, maybe sit down and journal about, hey, what are some of the things that I think about money right now? What are some of the negative things that I think about money? Write those things down. Like, oh, if I get money, my family's not gonna, they're gonna think I think I'm better than them. Write that down. If I get a new car, let's just say, just hypothetically speaking, a Benz, BMW, whatever. Now people are gonna look at me like I'm bougie. They might try to break into my car. And these thoughts don't come from the air. These thoughts come from stuff we have seen. We have seen people get attacked sometimes for having money. It's depending on where you grew up, right? If you grew up in certain areas, maybe you have not seen that. If you have not seen that, then that's a great thing. But some people have seen that. And so because people have seen that, then you have the association that bad things happen to people with money. But that's not the case. That's not always so. So if that is you and you're feeling like that, you release that so that you can get the abundance that's truly due to you. Okay, so release resentments about money. Yes, the money system of the world can seem upsetting. Okay, if you are in 2024 and you are looking at the current state of the economy in the US, that statement holds true. But holding resentments about finances just pushes your abundance away. Didn't I just mention that? It pushes it away. We don't want that. We want it to come to us. Instead, see money as a tool you can use to better the world. Okay? And this shift will help you attract support and golden opportunities. This is a fabulous card. So, if this message is resonating with you, I think it's a great opportunity to just take a moment and sit back and say, how can I release these thoughts? are these thoughts even true? Now, how we can say, okay, are these thoughts true? Is it happening to everybody? Is everybody who has money, are they getting robbed? Everybody who has money, are they 100% lonely? Did their family disown them? Are they single? All the fears that you think are associated with money, think, okay, is that happening to one or two people, which could possibly be circumstantial? Or is it happening to a lot of people or the majority of people? And if you see it's not happening to the majority of people, then that means that that's not a factual statement. That's not a factual statement. That's something that was a one off, two off situation. And because it's not a factual situation, we shouldn't apply it in our lives as facts. And then I'm going to look at the last card, which I feel like after this, I'm just going to close the reading. Abundance mindset. Abundance mindset. So now we're telling a story here. After we are identifying and releasing that there have possibly been vows that we took in poverty, in past lives, or even within this life when we were younger. Okay, if somebody ever said, "Oh, you rich? You think you rich?" No, I'm not. That's a vow. That's a vow. When people get married and they speak in front of the church, or they speak in front of the congregation, or they speak in front of the witnesses, they say, "I vow to be your husband, be your wife, to have and to hold, for richer, for poor, for better." That's a vow. That's a spoken vow. And I think sometimes we don't realize the power we hold in our tongue when we say something. So let's say, for example, when you were growing up, and someone said, "Oh, you think you rich. You think you blessed, or you think you got money," and you're like, "No, I don't. No, 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 no." That's a vow. You just took a vow against your blessing. Now, a lot of people say, "Oh no, I don't," because they fear being seen as arrogant, being seen as overly confident, because apparently that's wrong in this world to be overconfident. No, I'm just joking. I'm being sarcastic. If those of you who are listening have not picked up on my sense of humor yet, but apparently, when people say I'm beautiful, or I'm successful, or I'm rich, or that is seen as being arrogant, cocky, and overly confident. But how is that overly confident, cocky, or arrogant if it's a fact? Now, granted, we could say these things with taste and class and etc. But the thing we do not want to say is we do not want to negate our blessings. We don't want to say no about something, right? I have a story for you guys. I was trying to make it quick. I was driving into the city a couple of weeks ago for an event. My friend had an event. She was being acknowledged for something, and I drove into the city. And so, if any one of you guys are familiar with a big city, it's very hard to find parking. So there are different options. You can drive in, park on the street, pay the meter, but you have to be careful where you park because you don't want to come back out and your car is towed. There's another option of you could drive into the city and then park in a parking lot, which they have a lot of them, in the city, things of that nature. The caveat with that is they're not cheap. They're not cheap at all. So this particular day I had to drive in, and I wasn't driving in alone. So I said, you know what, let me park in a lot, just so I'm not stressing out. I'm not rushing to get back to the car, whatever. And when I ended up booking the lot online, get there, smooth, no stress. I didn't have to take the train. I didn't have to park to the train, to the this, to the bus, to the drove right down, parked, went on to this event. and was very relaxed. I wasn't stressed out. I got to enjoy the event. I got to enjoy my friend being acknowledged. She had such an amazing day. And the person that I went with as well, they were very relaxed. It was a smooth day. And it's funny because as I was parking and I'm walking and I'm seeing all the train stations and I'm seeing the hustle and bustle, a thought came to me about when I was younger. When I was younger, growing up in the city, growing up in the inner city, I remember having a thought that, looking at the financial districts, let's just say, and seeing all these, businessmen, primarily businessmen, some businesswomen too, with suits on and briefcases and this and that, and they would, drive their going back to the luxury car situation, they would drive their luxury car, their Audis and BMWs and Mercedes Benz into the lots, the parking lots, and you would see them walking out. And I remember thinking, this is when I was young, I remember thinking, wow, they have so much money. They're so rich and this and that. And I remember thinking, oh, I want to be like that one day, or I can't wait until I can be like that, that I can have the luxury or the comfort to drive into the city, the big, big, expensive city, and and park my car. That was like a thing, when I was younger. And a lot of people in the city have a similar sentiment, but I just remember having that one. And so, we get there, walk out of the garage, walk to the event, and I actually got there few minutes early. And so my friend's dad was meeting us there, and he actually was a little bit late. And so he finally gets there and we're like, oh, is everything okay? What happened? And he said, oh, I was looking for parking. I said, well, why didn't you park in the lot? So he said, oh, he said he don't have money for that, right? He said, oh, I don't have money for that. I don't have money for the lot. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I know he could have gotten into the lot. He just decided not to. So he ended up parking on the street and paying the meter, which is a little bit of a gamble, like I said, because sometimes, the ticket people come and it's a whole thing. So he said, well, where did you park? And I said, I parked in the garage. This is downtown, downtown. We gotta park in the garage. So he said to me something like, oh, you got money. You got money. You can afford to park in the garage. And I remember, like, instinctually, sometimes you can just say, oh, no, whatever the case. And I didn't say that. Now granted, you know, am I where I want to be? I'm moving towards that location. I'm moving towards where I want to be financially. The way he was making it seem was like, uh, he exaggerated the situation. I'll just put it like that. But the point is that I'm trying to make is that I didn't say no. When he said, "Oh, you got money, you rich," I didn't say no. Yeah. I said, "Yeah, I can afford to park in the lot. I can afford to park in the lot. Yeah." And you keep the conversation moving. You don't have to negate your blessing. You don't have to negate your position in life, and you don't have to minimize it either. And frankly, I didn't have to say anything. I could have just smiled. I didn't have to say, oh yes, and whatever the case is. But I'm claiming abundance in my life. I'm claiming wealth into my life, and I do it in a way that's not arrogant or boastful. So could I have said yes? Of course I could have said yes, but I chose to keep it how I wanted to keep it. I can afford to park in the lot. But one thing the point that I'm making, the idea that I'm making here is that you never want to negate your blessing. So the one thing that you don't want to do, even if you say, "Oh yeah, I got money, whatever," however you want, that's your business. Never say that you don't. Don't say that you don't. All right? So Hopefully that story was interesting. Let's go on to this card here, which is abundance mindset. Um, I think that kind of ties into the story that I was just sharing. Always have the abundance mindset. Let's read what they have here. If you think of your abundance as something that happens in the future, then it will always be one day away from you. See, feel, think, and speak of abundance as something you already have in the present moment. And that is what you will experience. Let me just read this again because I think it's absolutely stunning. I think it's amazing. I think it's powerful. And I think it bears us really sinking in to feel and embody this. So, having the abundance mindset. If you think of your abundance as something that happened in the future, then it will always be one day away from you. See, feel, think, and speak of abundance as something you already have in this present moment. And that is what you will experience. So, my beautiful people, I feel like this reading really turned into um an abundance mini seminar, if you will. So yeah, these cards came out for a reason. I feel like somebody needed to hear this. Somebody needed to be reminded of this. And the spirit is so abundant. Sometimes smaller messages, if you will, smaller amounts of cards, however you want to call it, will make even the most significant impact in people's lives and people's spirits. So, my prayer is that this impacted you, that this resonated with you, that you found some value in this information and in my story as well, that you will look on your life on areas where you can improve, where you could definitely get into the breaking of the vows now. Do that right now. Release any resentment you have towards money, and then slowly move into this abundance mindset because it's possible for all of us. You don't need to be a certain level of spiritualist and religious or education, whatever. It's possible for every one of us right now. So thanks again for watching. I hope you made it to the end of the video. Don't forget to click the like little button there if you did enjoy the video, if you did like it. And if you're not subscribed, my beautiful family, go ahead and subscribe. Give me a little bit encouragement and encouragement and just knowing that you guys are vibing on these videos, because the more subscriptions I have, it allows me to create more of these videos. And my goal is to help and bless as many people as I possibly can, because Spirit told me to do this. So I'm following Spirit's lead, and looking forward to even hearing what some of you guys have to say in the comments. Have you experienced any of this? Has something like this happened to you? What are ways you feel like you could break the vow of poverty? What are some experiences that you have had where someone said, "Oh, you think you rich," and you was like, whatever you said. I want to know. I want to hear. So enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you guys on the next video.